Norwegian Frode Nodland was the first faller on table 2. And on table 4, a complete shock as Danish poker legend Gus Hansen went early on.
I think sometimes people think they can be really aggressive against me because, I mean, I don't want to risk all my chips in one pot, and I felt like, yeah, I should actually have been more aggressive this time.
Nathan Lee was the first to leave table 3 after losing his all-in to Stephen Horry. Lee was sat alongside Benedetto Passantino, who had qualified through the Maxim King of Poker event. This was a star-studded occasion held in association with Lads Mag Maxim at the Pasha nightclub in London. The field was a mixture of internet qualifiers and celebrities, and the difference in the standard of players was huge. Predictably, it was the online players who made it to the final table. Passantino's King-Queen was good enough to win against a pair of queens, pairing his king on the turn and making his flush on the river. Not sure what the Waterways board would make of that.
I played really tight because I knew these internet players were going to be loose, so I was playing really tight and basically waiting for the premium hands.
More than 100 hands and still absolutely nothing between the top two. Stuart and Tino lock level on just less than 20 grand.
That's an all-in.
Bruce all in with a pair of 4s.
Doing what he has to do here.
With 6,000 exactly.
And Bruce, of course, wants one of Stuart or Tino to have a half-decent hand so that he can double up.
Stuart trying to figure out whether Bruce would do this with something like an ace-10.
With a raise.
He's decided to get it heads up. And that's probably good news for Tino, who might have been tempted to have a look. Although you should never really call with a pair of 2s.
I'll turn this one over, so...
Bruce Atkinson is on
got the big blind. Yeah, I've got yours.
Playing against Stuart.
I'm winning anyway.
Bruce shows a pair of 4s. Stuart shows ace, jack.
About as good as either of them could hope for.
6 clubs bent.
And the flop comes. 8, king, 8.
Play like that, baby.
So
Still
Bruce
Bruce
with his pair of 4s. Two
with
pairs,
the
8 and
advantage.
4s. Turn card.
Doesn't want to see an ace or a jack, of course.
Is a king.
Or a king.
No. He needs a king or an 8 for a split pot.
Well, he's in trouble now, Bruce.
Or a 4 for a full house.
That's not nice.
Let's see the river card.
It's not nice, it's a real understatement.
And it's a 6. No help for him.
Well, it's been a very quiet performance from the
We're
man,
down to 5
self-dubbed Elvis Senior. For Bruce, it's return to sender.
Bruce.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, hold on.
You had some comebacks worthy of the king tonight, but in the end it was Heartbreak Hotel.
It was indeed Heartbreak Hotel, yeah. But I was leading. I was in the Ritz Hotel until Heartbreak came. Heartbreak came with the 2 pairs and the ace. Ace nothing is all he needed to beat me.
Cruel game.
Cruel game.
Well, that's the king out the pack, and while he shuffles off, let's cut back to the action.
Simon, 7,500 there, represents less than 10 times the big blind.
8 to play. 3,000 to play.
Simon not wanting a part of this. Now, what's Paul going to do with pocket 6s? Well, having seen what Tino's got there, Barney, that could be an expensive call.
Would have been a more expensive re-raise though. Hope for his sake he sees a flop that he can get away from.
992.
But that's not a nice flop for Paul, because it looks like a very safe flop. If his sixes were good before, they're good still. I expect Paul to do some damage to his stack here.
Bets 5,000.
Paul may well just move all in here. It's all in or pass, that's for sure. Very, very tricky game when you're just calling with small pairs, hoping to flop sets. Because if you don't flop a set, that's the next best thing almost. A very safe looking flop.
Another 4,600.
Well, he's gone all in. And Tino, I'm sure, will call.
All in.
Pair of queens against a pair of sixes, and Paul needs a little bit of luck. Needs a six for the full house.
Paul is all in, playing against Tino. Paul's hand is a pair of sixes. Tino's hand is a pair of queens. The flop is 9, 9 deuce.
Well, Paul, if he doesn't
needs
hit,
a 6 to stay in the tournament.
a little unfortunate,
Let's see
because
the
there's nothing wrong with the way he played this hand.
And it's a 9.
Oh, how's your luck?
No help
That's
to him.
that. Nothing he can do. Full house landed by the pair of them, but the queens eliminate Paul Jackson.
And it's a 7, and Paul Jackson, the next player out.
Two players out in the space of 3 hands.
Paul, you were hanging on bravely for a long time there, but in the end the pair of queens did for you.
Yeah. Well, he's raised pre-flop. It's only a short-handed 6 people on the table, so a pair of sixes isn't too bad a hand. The flop's come 992, which I think is a pretty good flop for me. I mean, you're pretty unlucky to find 2 pocket pairs out in the same hand when there's only 6 players sitting at a table. He's bet quite big, which made me think he was weaker than he actually was, obviously. I've decided to go all in, hoping that if he's only got 2 overcards, A, he might pass, and B, if he calls, I'm still a good favourite to win the hand. As it happened, he had queens, and fair play to him. It was a fair result, I can't complain.
Did you learn anything tonight?
Well, I haven't particularly learnt anything, but the one thing I have learnt is that this tournament is a very good tournament. It's by far the best TV tournament that I've ever played in, because the structure for poker enables you to play poker, whereas most of the other ones it's a crapshoot near the end because the antes go up too fast.